This will begin to make things right. What's going on, guys? So, let's dive into this discussion about this film because holy shit, I am just in love with this film. The last, if I'm not mistaken, the last cinematic performance of Hugh Jackman's The Wolverine. Even though I do think that there's a slight chance that he might make a cameo in the upcoming Deadpool film, the Deadpool sequel, number 2. But outside of that, I think this is definitely, and even the Deadpool thing, that's like that maybe. But outside that cameo, yeah, I think this is our last outing with Jackman's Wolverine, and it is awesome. This movie is fucking awesome. I just don't get it. I don't understand. The movie is so good. It's so good. People who are throwing negativity. I mean, granted, most people really enjoyed this film, but people slamming this film with negativity and being like, "Oh, it's okay, it's decent." I think they're fucking nuts. Okay, Hugh Jackman. First off, this is one of the greatest performances I've ever seen Hugh Jackman give. Which is insane to be saying that about his last outing as Wolverine, because he's been playing Wolverine since I don't know, like 15 plus years or something. I can't remember exactly when he first started playing Wolverine, but it's been a long time. And honest to God, I mean, I liked the first two X-Men films, and outside of Deadpool, this film, X-Men Days of Future Past, and X-Men First Class, everything else X-Men related in a live action movie sense, I just don't like it. I think it's trash. I think it's trash. But anyways, his performance in this film is awesome. I really loved that they added the tidbit of James Howlett. I think that's just awesome. And the film is full of just awesome Easter eggs. I'm gonna gloss over most of them because you could honestly make an entire video about the Easter eggs in this film. But like X-23 at the end, where she takes the cross at Logan's gravesite and turns it into an X. Come on, fuck. Or just even there was a couple sequences, or there's a few sequences in the film where Logan is literally. Let me see if I can't find it. Oh yeah, there we go. Where Logan is literally making references to the literal X-Men comic books, literally at Logan's gravesite after he gets killed. There's a little mutant, a little black boy who's holding. I don't know what his name was. I don't even know if they gave his name, but he was holding a little Wolverine figurine or toy, and I was like, "Yo, fuck!" You know what I'm saying? I was hoping that that little boy was going to place that Wolverine toy on top of the rocks on Logan's grave, you know what I'm saying? And that would be one of our last lingering that would be one of our last lingering shots. But what X-23 did with the wooden cross turning it into an X, that was pretty fucking cool as well. But yeah, there's a lot of great Easter eggs in this film, like references to the Statue of Liberty, and even more references to what happened in the first film. So there's a lot of Easter eggs that we could spend a whole video on, but I'm not going to get over into that. I'm just going to be randomly all over the place with this review. This character, this albino bald person, I felt like his presence wasn't really necessary to this story. I mean, I don't know. His presence wasn't that necessary. I mean, outside of like being able to track Logan and Professor X, he just felt kind of like didn't really need him. But it's just like a nitpick, more of a nitpick. I don't really have substantial flaws with this film at all. I mean, but I'm just trying to figure out if I did have. I don't really have any flaws with this film. I mean, as far as negatives go, like I said, that guy, yeah. This character, I thought that this actor, Boyd something, I think the character's name is Pierce, this actor portrayed this character perfectly. And I don't know, I've heard some people saying that this villain is very generic and cliched and a bit one note. And these are all pretty sound, I'm not going to lie. But here's the thing, real quick. For me, a 10 out of 10. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I think that this film is a 10 out of 10, hands fucking down. Okay, and to me, a 10 out of 10 from me is not saying that I think that the film is perfect. It's just that a 10 out of 10 for me is a film that is as near to perfect as we were likely to ever get. You know, 10 out of 10 to me is, I think of it like a masterpiece, or something that can influence people like artists or art, for decades or more from now. 10 out of 10 is something to me that, I don't have substantial flaws with, which is this film. But with this character, I understand people's criticisms about him, but I thought that this character was effective. I kind of had a very similar problem with 2009's James Cameron's Avatar. Stephen Lang, the villain in that film, was very similar to the villain here. Muscle bound, badass, but are they the greatest villains of all time? No, but are they effective? Yes. So, hey, fuck it. Also, I loved the sequence with that villain that I just showed you. I think his name is Pierce. I think one of my favorite sequences with that character was. Do I have it? Oh, I do have it. Oh my god, this sequence was so dope. This moment here where fucking X-23 comes out from killing all these people, and Pierce, the villain, he's like, hey, Laura, no, calm down, no. And she fucking tosses a severed head at this motherfucker. I was like, yo, this movie is lit. Holy shit. What else is there to dissect? I really like the concept of, first off, the opening sequence to this film was, I think I almost squealed, okay? When Logan, he's next to the limousine at the very start of this film. Wolverine falls to the ground, and he's like, fuck. And you see the title, Logan, come on the screen. Okay, that whole sequence, the intro to this film, with Logan just fucking dissecting and just reducing these men next to this limousine to pieces, was just him going berserk, basically, in that moment. That's what I've always wanted to see, and I finally got it. Jesus Christ! When Logan, when he chops off this one guy's arm, who was holding a shotgun, and the dude's arm just explodes off, blood everywhere. The fucking shotgun fires at the limousine. Oh, man! I really like this concept of, his wounds aren't healing. He's got this drinking problem. He's just been battered and beaten. Details about what's happened to all the, details that have happened, details that we get, can't speak, about the mutants from the past, like the past X-Men, the Xavier School, what happened to all of that, the details that we get from that are intriguing and vague at the same time, which I like. It kind of helps with the replay value, for example, of the film just in general. And also in this sequence right here, I really love when I think we see, or at least Logan sees X-23 for the first time, I think, in this sequence. I really love that shot of him, unbeknownst to him, watching his daughter being driven away in the rain. It makes me wonder what the storyboards looked like for this film during that sequence, because I'm sure they were fucking spectacular. By the way, shout out to the director, James Mangold, yeah, because Girl Interrupted, I think it's a fantastic film. I haven't seen it in a long time, but really awesome film. And Identity, hell, fuck it, I love Identity. I don't care what anyone says. I actually thought it was really well done. And Walk the Line is one of my favorite biopics of all time, about Johnny Cash. Holy shit. And even 3:10 to Yuma I thought was incredibly solid. I thought the Wolverine was just a garbage, but that's okay, because Logan was a 10 out of 10, so it's all right. And what else should I mention? Daphne, that's her real name, the little girl who plays X-23, I thought her performance was outstanding as this murderous little girl with Wolverine like powers. You know, she's got claws, and she has foot claws, which I thought was pretty fucking dope as well. So yeah, I loved her character. One of my her heartbreaking last words over Logan's gravesite at the end was that was some bleak, touching shit right there. And then Professor Xavier, when he gets stabbed by that clone of Wolverine, like I thought that whole sequence was like a fucking dream sequence. So I didn't really believe it at first, but then when I realized, like, wait a second, Professor Xavier just got stabbed in the fucking chest. What the fuck? That actually happened? It wasn't a dream. That blew my mind. I've heard gripes about people who didn't really like the concept of there being a clone of, you know, of Wolverine, you know, this evil version of Logan, but I didn't really mind it. Could they have gone with a better villain or a better villain in general, a more detailed, layered villain? Sure, I suppose it could have. But I don't know. I thought that all the instances with, you know, Pierce and that clone, I thought they were effective. You know, were they the best that could have been done? Perfect? No, but it was effective, so I didn't mind. We got some awesome fucking sequences, you know, like at the farm during this sequence right here. Uh, I liked when that one dude who I thought was dead, the husband of this farm, just fucking runs that fucking clone, runs his truck into him. I was like, damn! Uh, that shit was cool. And speaking of which, the sequences at the farm brings me to another point. At least I think it was a farm. I'm pretty sure it was a farm. But all the sequences within this house brings me to this point where I know another negative that people have called out is that they think that the film is really slow. I will say that the film is a slow burn for sure. But this concept of it being it's too long, I thought was boring. I was falling asleep. That wasn't me. I was engaged the whole time. I never felt that there were any filler scenes in the film. So I didn't mind the length of the film. I didn't mind that it was slow burning because there was no sequences that felt substantially like just filler moments to me personally. So, and by the way, all the sequences that happened here, I mean, prior to Professor X being stabbed in the fucking heart, I thought were really needed. You know, just a little bit of moment of relief in this bleak ass fucking film. I really enjoyed it. And Professor X's death was just, that was hard to watch. I mean, especially with when Logan said something like, you know, it wasn't me. It wasn't me, you know. I was like, oh man, do I feel a fucking tear coming on? Holy shit, that was really emotional. I mean, just emotional film in general. There were so many emotional beats within this film that I was just like, damn, damn. Even this moment right here, what the fuck? This sequence right here where these horses get out and they're running on the highway, and Professor X calmed down the horses. Even that moment, I was like, my boy Professor X. He's probably not gonna make it, my boy. God damn it. What else comes to mind about this film? Well, pretty much all of the action sequences that take place uh, in this environment right here. I don't know if I have any other pictures of it. Let me see. Yeah, right here. But all the action sequences that happened at this environment were just out fucking standing. There was one moment where Logan was in his car and he tries driving through a fence, but he can't seem to get through it, so he backs out, and a piece of that fence was still stuck onto the front of the car. And the way that they utilized that piece of that fence to like fucking kill a few people driving after them, which is it was crazy. It was a lot of fun action sequences. It was really intense when they were trying to catch up and get ahead of that train as well in the same sequence. What else is there to say? Oh, and just all the moments with, Laura and Logan, I thought were just phenomenal. Like, especially, God, Hugh Jackman's acting. Like, when Hugh Jackman and her are in the car and he's fucking going off on her, like she's speaking for the first time, and he's just going off on her because she wants to go to North or South Dakota. I can't remember. She wants to go to Eden or whatever. Just Hugh Jackman's acting in that sequence was extraordinary, and I thought his chemistry with this actress and with Patrick Stewart were just incredible. And in this sequence, this was just so hard to watch. Again, another heartbreaking sequence. He's just buried Professor X. I mean, and she goes to hold his hand for a second. And seriously, when this motherfucker was dying at the end on that tree, and that clone of Wolverine just got shot in the head with that adamantium bullet, and Wolverine, he's dying, and he says something like, don't become what they made you to be. He says that to her, and she says something like, daddy, refers to him as daddy. That was tough. That was fucking tough. Wow. I thought this movie was so well done. I really don't understand the negative criticisms of this film. I mean, sure, there's things to nitpick, like I wish the villain was better. I wish there was more memorable moments utilizing music. Like, there's things, but I don't really have any substantial flaws. I thought the film was just kick ass. Holy shit. Also, this sequence at I think it was like a hotel, and Professor Xavier is having a full blown seizure, and like the whole building and everyone on the streets is like frozen, and fucking Wolverine is struggling to get back up to the room where Professor Xavier is, who's just basically paralyzed in the corner over here in this shot. This whole sequence was so well done. You could cut the tension with a knife. And it was also crazy seeing Wolverine in this sequence going to each person one by one, just killing the fuck out of them. There was one dude where he just uppercuts him, and Wolverine just puts his claws just right through his fucking head, which I think is directly an image from the comic books. I could be wrong, but oh man, the violence in this film was just so grisly and bloody and just in your face. Like, guys, I'm telling you, I fucking love this movie. And when Wolverine, when he's running through the woods at the end, and that bottle of green shit, he takes it all into his arm. Those moments were just awesome. Seeing those little kids, those little mutants, these little kids just fucking butchering people. my God, yeah. Oh, and this moment right here where she fucking X-23 runs off his back and it's just fucking filleting motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? I loved it. Come on. There's especially when this one little girl mutant, not X-23, but this one little girl mutant in the woods out here during the sequence, she like did something with gravity, so she made all the debris on the forest floor like rise up, so like all the dirt and twigs and shit, she made it rise up and like shot all that shit at a couple guys, and there's like this one dude, like all this grass and dirt and shit was just being shoved into his face and there's blood everywhere. I was like, yo, holy shit. I don't know. I mean, there were effective emotional beats. The acting was on point. I love the dark tone. I love the bleakness of this film. I thought it was a perfect send-off to Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. I mean, I could go on and on, but honest to God, I truly loved this film. Again, I'm personally feeling a 10 out of 10 for Logan. I was kind of blown the fuck away by it, honestly. It was exactly what I wanted, and a bit more, which is incredible, because the last Wolverine Origins, the Wolverine. I thought that shit was garbage, terrible. I thought it was terrible. Holy shit. So I mean, and another thing. Could you imagine if like all of the X-Men live action films, let's just say that they did not exist, okay, and this film just came out, man, mother, God, people probably would have peed themselves, with joy. I mean, they still are, but I'm just saying, it's just, it's so good. It's so good. I mean, the only way that it could have been better is if the action was, kind of on the level of, do I have it? Hold on a second. I'm going off scripts. Let's see if I have it. I don't think that I do have it. I think I fucking threw it somewhere. Oh no, I do have it. The only way that the film could have been substantially better is if the action was similar to this, to the Raid 2. But that's asking a fucking lot because the Raid 2 might just be the most impressive action film I've ever fucking seen. So, yeah, I think that's all I got to say. We're already 20 minutes 20 minutes into this bitch. So, I think I've said everything that I need to say. I think if I'm talking longer, I'm going to start stuttering because I could gush about this film for probably a whole hour, to be honest with you. I don't think I particularly have anything else to say. Nah, I'm going to leave it there. It's a 10 out of 10 for me. I love the film. But what about you? What'd you think about it? I loved it. Let me know your thoughts down below. If you enjoyed this review, definitely make sure to smash that like button and subscribe as well if you have not. And also in the lower right hand corner of the screen, you should see a little circular button that will allow you to instantaneously subscribe. But I'm out. Peace.